my good co-host and good friend, and he's hopping over here to the mic. Chakits Krulsawat from Simply Vegas.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Also in studio, Mr. Brett Jenny, also on the team. What's going on, Big Brett?
What's going on, man? Just trying to stay cool out there.
Yeah, right. That's hard to do, right, guys?
It's only like 112.
Yeah, dude, it was hot today.
Oh, it's real hot.
Dude, I went outside today, show some properties. I thought I was about to pass out.
Oh, you still show properties?
Well, I got to. You know what I'm saying? I got to. Man, I ain't
Money
bougie.
never sleeps.
Man.
I ain't bougie. Come on, man. You know that.
Yeah, right.
Money doesn't cool down.
So we're here every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDWN News Talk Radio. Chuck, what's that number for people to call in if they have any questions, financing or real estate related?
702-257-5996. 702-257-5396.
Yes, 5396 guys out there. So let's go ahead and talk about what we always talk about. First off, what's going on with you guys today? How's your weekend started off?
I've been working all this morning, non-stop.
You know, I got a question about that. I was thinking about that. So kind of put into perspective of a real estate agent showing homes on the weekend. Also, what is the really, how much is it where you're out looking at properties and people are really taking up where they want to see something maybe like later in the afternoon or later after hours? Or they're actually looking at stuff. There's a lot of people that do it on the weekends, but do you guys get calls and you guys get a lot of people that are wanting to see stuff after hours as far as normal work days?
So the normal work day, this is how it works. Normally the night before, we really prep our clients and let them know, hey, send us over the 7-digit MLS number. It's an identification number to the property. Send it on over the night before. Then what I'll do is probably around 9 o'clock in the morning, like today, went over to the office, pull up all those MLS sheets, and line up those 7 properties that we had today, right?
Yes.
So that way we're not driving back and forth. Some of these properties, you got to set up an appointments and stuff like that. So we try to line everything up in a time frame where we could just bang it all out. Then we just show them the properties, and if they are interested, we write up the offer.
Yeah, it's like, I know, Brett, you're always working, man. Every time I talk to you, you got something going on Saturday morning. You know, you got something going on Sunday afternoon. What's going on, man? What's a normal day for you look like?
It varies. I mean, here's why I always say I go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And I wake up at 8 a.m. and my schedule's this. And by 10:30, 11, my schedule's this.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. Earlier, he said he got up at 5:30. Now he's talking about 8 a.m.
Yeah, but you go jogging,
Well,
right?
I'm
When you get
talking
up.
about
That's your
when I
first
actually
thing.
start my day. Yeah, I get up at like 5 a.m. and I look at stocks and then do a bunch of reading and
Oh, you're a stock trader.
try. Well,
How big are you
days.
on it? It's like gambling, right?
no.
It's not.
Well,
So-
I mean, everything's a form of gambling. I mean, there's always a risk at anything.
well, I get
Yeah,
you, but I
you
mean,
gotta study up on it. I've lost a lot of money to learn kind of what I'm doing.
Okay, so don't take advice from him then.
so as always gamblers, it's always this big question is, have you lost more than you won?
In crypto, 100%.
But you're still feeling the crypto though, right?
But it's still
That
fun.
market's open 24/7, so it's hard to like.
So
your
your
phone
day
down.
probably to me, and I don't know, but you can kind of gauge this. I know you talk to me a little bit about just what you do, but you show up, you start up in your first part of the day, you do a jog.
Yeah, I mean, I wake up, do some reading, all that stuff, do some trades, and then most activity at the stock market is probably within the first half hour.
Yeah.
So that's what 7:30 here. I go for a run, go to the gym after that if I want, come home, and then I usually start making my calls about 9:30.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Dan? What do you do?
Oh, you know, I wake up, drink my coffee, you know, go out back, enjoy the weather. You know, it's nice and about 105 at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know.
it's pretty much what I do. I do, you know, I get into work about 9 o'clock and, you know, I just kind of start going through my day. You know, it's different from a realtor because a realtor, they're constantly, I would say, at the becking call of like the client, where as a lender, once you get in the process of getting somebody approved, you're really doing a lot of the paperwork, right? You're doing a lot of the paper pushing and a lot of stuff that's going on. You're, you know, talking a lot about, you know, just what's going on with the maybe individuals that are trying to get loans from you. They're talking about a lot about with what rates are and stuff like that. But overall, it's not a glamorous position. You know, I try to do the best I can with it, but I think real estate agents, man, it's really a glamorous job. I mean, you go out.
I want to say glamorous job because after we're
We're a
done showing
different breed.
I mean, exactly. After we're done showing properties, people think we're going home and chilling. We're not. We're still in, you know, still pulling comps, running, you know,
Yeah.
contracts and stuff like that. So
I mean, I've never really had like a full day off.
You don't get day off as a realtor.
Yeah,
You
what
get
is your-
breaks.
Yeah,
You get
exactly.
breaks.
Breaks.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Good way of putting it.
You know, and I was saying that because I know a lot of people will never call me as a lender. They'll
Yeah.
never call me after, 6, 7 o'clock. It's almost like
Business hours.
they might text me like, hey, can you call
I
me?
get
But
texts at midnight.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You guys are getting stuff going on all the time where it's like 10 o'clock. People are still trying to reach out to you, right?
That's fine.
Is it? Oh, you're okay? Don't
Hey, listen.
be careful
if
what you wish for.
if you send an email to me or a text at 10:30 at night and you get a response at 10:31,
yeah,
I'm your agent.
got it.
Mhm.
You know?
You ever get emails like 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
checking up on you?
Do you really?
No. You sent me emails at like 1:30 before. Hey, man, about a file. I'm like, bro.
Chuck, what are you doing up that late, man?
Working.
And it was like a
okay.
Saturday night, too.
How do you sleep,
like,
man?
you
You
need-
sleep?
you need a
You sleep
drink.
work? Like, what do? You take cat naps or what?
No, I mean, after I'm doing videos, I'm probably up until like 2 in the morning. Or sometimes, I'm coming up with ideas. I can't go to sleep.
Mhm.
But I'll probably sleep around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And, I get up around like 7:30.
You writing those ideas down?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah, man, because I know it's a lot of times when you're late, you're just kind of brainstorming. A lot of stuff comes to you where you
Yeah.
want to write that stuff down. I know you got a lot of good ideas. So, yeah, it's just kind of crazy. It's hot right now. I want to talk a lot about what's going on in the world of real estate. What's crazy about it is they just extended the forbearance where it was coming up where you didn't have to pay your rent or mortgage where it wasn't going
Yeah.
to affect. I think they extended this now till August 31st.
Yeah.
And so, somebody out there that's still looking to try to get back to work. It's crazy because I had a client, she was going to do a refinance, started the process, stopped the process.
Yeah.
Okay. We're like, okay, well, let's hold off. Then she went back to work. And then with these coronavirus cases that came out, what was there, like 5 or 6 cases that came out down on the strip?
Mhm.
They're not shutting the strip down, but definitely more caution. And now she's like, well, we don't know if we're going to get our full hours.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's just a lot of things going on. Just like one of our clients, he's barely going back to work right now, getting his full hours. So it's just different right now with a lot of things going on with COVID. What's going on out there in the real estate world?
Now, talking about that, I do want to talk about on the rental side.
Yeah.
Today, I was going to go show some properties that had some tenants in place. However, with the new guidelines, we can't really show those type of properties because here's the thing. As a buyer, if you did buy that property, you're
Yeah.
required to occupy it, depending on your loan, for a certain period of time where it has to be occupied. But what happens is if you did buy that property, right,
Uh-huh.
with the new guidelines, what happens if they don't move out?
True.
Then it becomes a whole liability. So
Yeah.
right now, if you are an investor or you have a property that has a tenant, you're trying to sell it, you're pretty much dead out of the water at this point.
Oh, absolutely. We got a caller, line 1. We're going to take a couple of calls as we just got started here. Ryan, you on line 1. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. We got the whole crew here. Chakits is right on
Great.
standby. What's going on, man?
So, a little bit about me. So, I've been purchasing real estate, and I started in 2009 because I thought there were some really good deals out there. And basically, from 2009 on, I've spent most of my time purchasing real estate too, and I have a regular job as well. But I'm interested in looking at residential income properties, meaning over 4 units in a building. And what type of loans are available for those? Because it's a bit confusing.
No, that's a finance question, man. Why are you looking at me?
Are you asking about how to get financing?
Well, yeah, I don't
Unless
have a
it's cash.
problem with income. I have like cash flow, of my rental income after paying off my mortgages, maybe 15,000 income, and then my regular income's over 10,000. And I'm still paying off the single-family homes that I own, but I'm interested, and I've thought about 1031 exchange as well, but I wanted to know what kind of, let's just say you go into a residential income property that's worth a few $1 million. Are you able to get what type of loan are you available to, what type of loans are out there to get for that?
Well, I mean, if you're falling under jumbo financing and not conforming financing, then it's definitely a higher risk, right, to the investor. So
Right.
you're going to have a little bit more criteria to follow. Usually you have to have a higher credit rating. Are you
Right.
buying this as an investment property, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would look at it as, yeah, because I wouldn't be living in there,
Yeah. So, I mean, you would just, like any normal situation, you would look at what jumbo investors are willing to put down. A lot of times it's actually extra money. In some cases, you're putting down 35% for a jumbo investment property. It's because they know obviously it's a bigger loan, so they want you to put more money and put more investment into it. But usually it's you got a ratio, right? You have to really have a really conservative ratio, and you have to have reserves. And people don't know what reserves are. That's money, extra money in the bank. But you can definitely get a fourplex or any type. Obviously, if it exceeds 4 units, then it's a commercial property. It's not no longer.
That's what I'm looking at, the commercial residential income properties. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen.
It looks like you basically can't get 30-year mortgages on those, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to what the investor's criteria. A lot of stuff has changed, because of the COVID that came out, and obviously it's changed a lot of the banking world. But yes, you can absolutely do it. Some of the restrictions, though, have gotten greater because a lot of people trying to put money down. Maybe they just needed a 700 credit score. Now maybe it's a 720. Maybe they need to have 12 months reserves instead of 6. And what reserves are is in case you can't make your mortgage payment, do you have extra money sitting in a bank somewhere or in some account somewhere in case you need to pay that mortgage?
Now, I do want to add that when it comes to those type of loans, Freddie and Fannie will finance those type of loans, but it will have to be at $1 million. And if you're going to finance those type of loans, make sure it's a non-recourse loan, especially when it comes to the commercial side.
Right. Fannie Freddie's conforming, but he's saying on the jumbo side of it. So Fannie Freddie goes up to 510 350. So if you want to buy a property that's in a conforming loan limit, it's 510 350 or below.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you guys have those out in Las Vegas? I mean, how are there deals out there for that or what? Because where I'm at, I'm in Sacramento, California, and there's just not that many for sale right now,
Now, here's the thing. When it comes to those type of loans, and I'm actually in that same situation, the problem is that you can get the financing, but it has to be above the $1 million. But the problem is that depending on how many units you're going to go for, because the average unit's going for 100,000, the cap rate around here is about less than 3%, which is I don't think it's worth my time or worth the while. In addition to that, a lot of people are doing the add value type of property, so that apartment complex has already been capped out. The only way to really make some money on something like this is an add value type of property. But the problem is that when you go into the add value property, you're going to have to pay cash. A lot of lenders won't finance those type of deals, especially with a non-recourse loan. So these are things that you have to look out for. And also one of the things that the banks will take a look at is your trailing 24. So what that means is when you're buying an apartment building, they want to see exactly how much is this business producing. The problem is that a lot of these mom and pop shops out here, they pocket the money. So it's not making enough money to show the value of that cap rate. So those are the challenges that you're going to have out here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I understand.
Hey, Ryan, we can get your information, and we'll call you outside studio, and we'll follow up, okay, with you and get any more questions you have. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
I appreciate you calling in, Ryan. Okay, you have a good rest of your Sunday, buddy.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, have a good one.
We got another caller here. Ashley's on line 2 here. Ashley, are you there? Hello. Is there Ashley there? Hello. I guess not.
Okay.
So we got a couple other callers here too. Denise, you want to put those callers in, or you got time to put those in? What about Andrew? Yeah, let's go ahead and go to Andrew.
What?
Andrew.
Yep.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hi, I'm a huge Chakits fan. I watch all his videos.
Oh, right on,
I live in
man.
Chicago, and I honestly, I love all your videos.
Oh,
I think
thank
they're
you.
fantastic. I've watched every single recent one, and I just love the absolute ones. My question for you is, what do you think about home builders going towards smaller homes, like 1,000 to 1,800 square feet? Like, I'm 24, so obviously none of these 2,000, 3,000 square foot homes would meet my needs. What do you think about home builders, going towards smaller units?
That's a good question. However, if we take a look at the math with the new home builds, they would never do 1,000 square feet because it doesn't make sense on a single family residence. That's why the average is roughly about 1,500 square feet, because it comes down to money at the end of the day. But now, could you get some sort of townhome that's roughly 1,200 square feet? Yes, but I haven't seen one that's at 1,000, because it just doesn't make any sense because of what they're paying for the dirt.
Oh, for the land itself?
Yeah.
Exactly. That is correct.
I actually used to live in a house that was 400 square feet, but it was built 110 years ago.
Yeah.
400? That's the size of my college apartment.
Well, here's the thing. If you bought a home like that, you definitely need to check the plumbing. And then that's the problem that you're going to have. And this is from experience. You know, when I bought one of my first investment properties, and you can actually go on the YouTube and see this first flip I did. The problem is that when I bought this property, I think the property was built in the early 60s. On the plumbing, they used to use cast iron plumbing. And now they're not using cast iron plumbing. It's all PVC, right? And what happens is it will eventually corrode and collapse. So I had to literally cut down the concrete floor to get into this sewage line. So these are things that you just need to be aware of when you're buying a home at that age.
I actually had to install a lead filter on this house because it had lead lines.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Where was this?
So that's all I have to say for you, Chakits. I love you. I love all your videos. I watch them constantly. You don't know how many times I put on your videos. I just love them.
Hey.
I'm just a huge fan. I just want to tell you that.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that. We'll have Denise get your contact information. Then what I'll do is I'll get your information. We'll send you over some merch, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You have a blessed day now.
Thanks, Andrew.
I love you, Chakits.
I appreciate that. Much love.
All right, man. So I want to talk to you, Brett. I got a couple questions. So I have a lot of people. We got a couple of callers. We're going to jump to them in a second. Ashley's back, but give us a second on that. So we're talking about new homes, and the big question I always get is it more expensive to buy a home that's new versus an existing home? Like, where's the better deal? And it really just takes – I mean, you guys kind of take the floor on this. What is that situation?
Well, I mean, obviously resale is going to be cheaper than new home. It's new. You're going to pay anything new. You're going to pay higher for. But to me personally, the sweet spot that I'm finding are these communities that are maybe 2 years old or they're in their last phase.
Yeah.
So the houses that have sold in the first phase are a year and a half years old. You're not paying the new sticker price, but you're still getting a brand new community. And a lot of these will have pools in them because a common thing I get a lot of times where people say, "Hey, I want brand new build, and I want a pool."
Yeah.
And I try to say
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. But if you find one in that community that's a year and a half year old, you're still in that new community. They're still putting up new homes, but you're not going to pay that new sticker price.
And I want to talk about this. The builders will not allow you to build a pool because the property won't appraise. And that's the reason why. In addition to that, if you are planning on building one with a pool, right, it depends on the price point. If you're doing about a jumbo loan that's over like $1 million on a property, some builders will allow it. And also you need to find out from the lender, will they also allow it too as well? Because here's the thing, the pool won't be complete, right, before the house. So it has to be about 75% complete. But also you need to make sure that the builder will allow it and also your lender will allow it too as well.
Some builders will allow the pool to be put in the mortgage.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. We got Ashley online too. She's been holding and she got lost on the last call. I'm sorry. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm good.
How you doing, sir? Just wanted to give you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. What's going on, man?
Okay. My question is for Chakits. I'm not sure if I'm going to word this properly, but hopefully you can decipher what I'm getting at.
Okay.
So I've been advised by a few of my friends who are well versed in buying homes that basically what they do is they contact the seller's so they're a buyer, right? So they contact the seller's agent, and instead of utilizing a buyer's agent themselves, they just go directly to the seller's agent and make their offer or whatever. So that way the sellers, as I understand it, can get double the commission, and in turn it'll help the actual buyer pay for their closing costs or something of that nature. Is that something you've heard of, or is that something that a buyer can actually utilize to help themselves save money?
Look, a buyer can definitely utilize that, but if you reached on out to the seller's agent, here's the thing, there's no representation. Basically what you're doing is giving that listing agent double the commission, and at the end of the day, they're putting the deal together. So at the end of the day, what you need to do is work with an agent that knows customary practices, knows how to structure the deal. And at the end of the day, the listing agent wants to work with a buyer's agent that can actually get the deal done. So that doesn't really matter. But if you want to go out there on your own, there's a lot of people that try to do that, but at the end of the day, they end up hurting themselves in the long run, because that 3% commission, 2% commission, it's got to go to somewhere anyway. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you get a better deal. The only leverage that you'll get is basically the listing agent is getting more enticed to get that deal done because he wants to double in that commission. And what benefits you is if there's multiple offers, you may get that deal, but you're getting no representation whatsoever. But if you understand real estate and how things work, yeah, you could definitely go that route. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That answer your question, Ashley?
Yes, it did. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, have a good one.
If you have more questions outside studio, you can give us a call, Ashley, 257-5396. We got another caller here. We got Ron on line 4. Ron, are you there?
I'm still here. How you doing?
Good.
What's up, Ron?
What's going on, buddy? Did we already have a conversation, Ron, or is this a new conversation?
I think this is a new conversation. It's a little unique.
Okay.
And I was wondering if Mr. C can assist me.
Mr. C. I like that.
Oh, okay.
It's like Mr. T. Mr. C. What's up, Mr. C?
I'm gonna have to get the jury now. What's your question, boss?
So I'll get straight to it. I'm based in New York. I'm based in New York City, and I got a job opportunity in Nevada, Las Vegas.
Okay.
And my concern is I have a 2-family home in New York City, and the location in New York City that I'm located in, developers are giving more of a incentive to buy the property because the property is more cost effective to them than to buy the house. And I just wanted to find out what is the do's and don'ts of selling your property to developers versus real estate agents.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to sell it to a commercial, that means your land is probably worth a lot more because they're going to utilize it as for commercial. Now, here's the thing. I would actually probably get with a commercial agent to actually represent you or an attorney to represent you into the contract. So don't always look about how much money you're going to make because you also got to take a look at closing costs because they can offer you $1.5 million, but by the time it closes, you're not getting $1.5 million. That's why at the end of the day, you got to take a look at the settlement statement and based upon if you close this deal today with this developer, how much you are walking away with. Now, the next thing I would do is see if you did list this with a commercial agent because now you have an inside tip that this is probably a commercial property. You want to see exactly how much this property is worth. If you list it with them, what your total closing costs would be. In addition to that, if they're buying it based upon residential, then what you would do at this point, find out, is this guy trying to parcel all these deals together? If they are parceling all these deals together, right, with all the other landowners, you need to go out there and find out what they are also getting because what happens if you're getting offered 1.5 but they're making 2.6?
Right.
So these are the things that you need to be looking at.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you for this advice. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. You have a blessed day, sir.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Ron. So
all right.
we got some time left. What do you got, man? You got something for real estate?
Oh,
What's
you know
going
what?
on?
I've been talking so much. Brett, what's going on?
Just trying to get back on the Facebook stuff.
I
mean, on
Facebook. You should
Hey,
be on YouTube.
Sorry,
Are
YouTube.
you a social what is it, social media type person where you go on to Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, or you're not really?
I mean, I'm more of a voyeur.
Oh
I
yeah.
just kind of
You just browse?
I mean, Facebook is one of two arguments now.
Yeah.
Is it really?
You know, like mask, no mask, mask, no mask,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I got you.
Yep.
Well, listen, a lot of people go to Instagram. What's the new thing? TikTok?
You know what? I haven't tried the TikTok yet, but I know that my niece had signed me up on the TikTok, and I did a couple dances with her, which is kind of cool. You know, we got a lot of hits.
Man, you
But-
got a groove right there. Let me see that again.
Bang! I bet lock.
Oh, wow.
Boom!
Brett, can I see that real quick too?
Yeah, that's it. Hey, Brett,
your
pay
move,
attention.
man.
You're on the radio today, okay?
You got to give your best TikTok impression.
Yo, I just hit the switch. Switch.
Oh, drop the mic. I'm
I
out.
don't know nobody
Oh,
else
wow.
that is doing this.
Hey, man, remember what you used to? Where are you from? You're from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Hey, were you a big person as far as like listening to rap music when you were growing up?
Huge.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, driving through the cornfields, listen to NWA.
Oh
wow.
yeah. Oh wow.
You know how we did in the farm?
With the tractor.
With the tractor. Tractor drive-bys. Better watch it.
With a tractor. Was it convertible?
Oh yeah, it had AC too.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Good
man.
snowmobiles, everything in the winter.
Hey, it gets humid out there, right? Wisconsin?
Yeah, real humid.
Hey, I know we got a couple minutes before we go to break, but let's get into financing real quick. What's going on with the financing part, man?
Well, I know a lot of people are refinancing right now, have a lot of refinancing coming through. A lot of people are going back to work, so that's a good thing to look at. Also, rates are historically low still.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that wants to see if they can take advantage of reducing some of their debt or maybe just reducing their payment. You know, we have a couple of people, we're reducing $600-700 on their payment.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, man. And, you know, look, everybody doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I think right now it's refinance season. They had this big thing come out at the start of the year. They were like, well, refinances could be big. Now they're really coming out and saying this could be the biggest boom for refinances ever. So if you guys out there have not looked at refinancing your home, you might want to get a hold of me, lvhomeexperts.com. You can follow us there, find out all that information. We'll be right back. We're going to cut the break. We got another half hour. If you guys have any questions financing or real estate, give us a call, 702-257-5396.